Hey guys, Freddy here. Welcome back to a modern RPG thing. Because this week I was contacted by Diesel Shot Games about their game Change Stars. And they were asking me to read through their press pack, which I did, and I loved what I saw. So I reached back out to them and said I'd be very interested in doing a review with my usual caveats that I cannot guarantee a good review. And they got back that that's no problem for them. They were very happy to provide a review copy with no strings attached, that even if I put out a completely negative review, they would love the feedback, which is such positivity, which is such faith in their product, which I can only love and tell yous about, because that's got to be respected. Now, having a quick look through it, at first I loved what I saw. The graphic design is fantastic, so it's quite right they have some faith in it. But anyway, let's go over to the desktop and have a look through the book properly. Let's have a look at Change Stars.
So this is Change Stars, which came out from Diesel Shot in 2023, and it's a science fiction role-playing game, as should be fairly obvious from the cover. The basic setup of the history is that in the future, humanity went out to the stars, and they met these alien, insect-like aliens on the cover here. And humans, being humans, declared war and started to try and wipe their species out to claim their worlds and their resources for humanity's own. But the insect-like aliens had already met other species who'd rallied behind them. So humanity found itself in a losing war and was beaten. Now, the game picks up 100 years after that, where for the time that humanity's been conquered, the different alien races have been trying to restructure humanity into something more friendly. And they have set up a number of AIs which provide everything that humanity needs. So humans are less likely to want to conquer because they have everything they need already. And that has, over this 100 years of retraining, led to humans and two of these alien species becoming the core of like a galactic federation called the Trinity, because the three species are so closely linked together. And that's a really interesting setup for a game where you'd be playing as a human or alien, but even the humans are different because they are not as aggressive, because they can just stay at home and have all their needs fulfilled already. It's a really interesting setup, which makes humans a bit more alien than normal in different role-playing games. Now, I really do like the style of this game. That's the first thing I've got to talk about. They've taken all the images, and there's a very heavy purple tone to them. As we get into the book itself, we can see everything is highlights of slight purple, sidebars of purple, etc., which leads to it all feeling very cohesive. This book looks spectacular, and as we go through, there's a couple other features I absolutely love in it. They've really done well. So we've got Kickstarters, table of contents, introduction, talking about the setting, the Trinity, the area, Orion's arm, describes role-playing games. Now this is 300 pages long, so I'm going to flick through quite quickly. We've got themes, ordinary people doing extraordinary things in space. And it talks about it having a lot of queer themes in it. Change Stars presents an opportunity for players to explore unique societies and cultures that do not have the same gender connotations and restrictions as our own. Exploring and inventing different social systems is core to envisioning post-Earth cultural collaboration, which I absolutely love. This is giving you a chance to play as something different than an ordinary 21st century human. And that's really good in a game. Carrying on through, we've got inspirations, where it comes from. As I said, some lovely artwork in here. Imagining your character generation, attributes and skills. Your core skills are cognition, alacrity, resilience, and empathy. Care, C-A-R-E. You select your species. There's humans, Thrin, Murai, Rast, Nauske, adolescents, Vir, synths, and synth variants. So we've got humans. Talks through society, physiology, different names, and the advantages in play. Thread, who are these almost tiefling-like creatures, society, physiology, names, and in play. The Murai, these insect-like, praying mantis-like aliens, again going through the same sections. The Rast, which look like otters with antennae. Nazca adolescents, which are centipede-like insects. The Veer, which remind me of something, but I can't think what. They are very reminiscent of something. Might just be the artist. Maybe I've seen his work elsewhere. Synths, which are basically humans, but artificial humans, except they can be completely mechanical, and we've got variants. Got different archetypes. You know, you're going to be an engineer, a face, a hacker, an investigator. Edge break, different trees. So if you're a bruiser, command, criminals, what different abilities you get. Adventure talents, gear packages, loads of those. And an example character sheet, which looks very clean, very modern. I have to say, the use of fonts, being sometimes graphic designer myself, I do like it. It's lovely and clear. We've got the equipment section. So talking through spacesuits, personal armors, different types of weapons, including for different races. Because, of course, every different race has their own technology that they've brought to the intergalactic community, or galactic community, rather. Heavy weapons, explosives, drugs, electrical devices, maintenance devices, different types of cybernetics, emplacements, accommodations. And then on to the rules section, playing the game. Now, of course, I'll be doing a rules breakdown in a few days about this. I haven't really dug into it. It does look quite interesting. Has one of my key hates that they call the Games Master something else. They call them the Dreamweaver in this. They're a Games Master. Just leave it at the standard term. We've got the rules, trauma, stamina and health. We've got wound tables here, how combat works, different types of hazards, hacking, drones, vehicles, and spaceships. So we've got different types of drones. Now, going from small quadcopter drones to mechanical dogs, humanoid type ones, sort of load lifter type thing there. A Henstella assault chassis. Different vehicle modifications. We've got loads of vehicles here. They look relatively science fiction. Again, they do seem reminiscent of stuff. Now that almost looks like one of the skiffs out of Star Wars, the sail barge type thing. But that's no bad thing. We all get our inspirations from different places. Some of these do remind me of Battletech mechs. All different elements of them, how crews work, ramming, etc. We've got drones, spaceship weapons. We're coming up towards the spaceships. Shipboard AIs. And these are the spaceships. And it's one of the sections I absolutely adore. Because every big spaceship has a deck plan. And that's fantastic. You can use that ship if people are boarding it in adventures. If the players have it, they can say where their characters are staying. It connects them a lot more with the vessel they're going around. So we've got various small vehicles, which are just a single room. But the larger ships have detailed deck plans. Freighter ships, envoy ships, executioners, freighters, haulers, stealth ships, yachts, Reefkeeper Special Ops ship, a Woodurvian Star Skipper, UN Empire fleet tenders, garden ships, cargo ships, personal cruisers, orchids, rast cruisers, home ship tenders, cargo ships, battleships, Loads and loads of vehicles, absolutely fantastic stuff. And then we're on to the lore. So we've got a nice timeline here, going through the history, because of course we know human history, but there's all those other races as well. So we talk through a bunch of that. The founding of the Trinity, after Origin, structure of the Trinity, organizations, including organizations for the individual alien races and organizations which were key in human society before they were conquered and one since, because some of those still exist. People are trying to revive. And that's a really interesting idea, that you've got humans who want to go back to the old warlike ways. Now, that could be something that people will play, but since they usually wouldn't include different aliens in those groups, they will often be the enemies. Humans will be the bad guys. Science and tech across Orion's arm, talking through the different species, what technology they've got available, humans, Rast home ships, how to roleplay on Rast, loads and loads of information, fantastic stuff to back you up and know more about these alien species than just a quick summary. We've got locations, and again, this is one of the elements I really, really love. So we have a key to different planets, because each of the systems has this illustration. So we've got the star, the planets, different space stations and things, asteroid belts, and indicated the habitable planet. And if there's more, they'll put in again with each indicated. I love that. It really digs me in. I've always been a fan of schematics, which is why I love the Starship section. But this is giving extra information in a visual fashion. Lovely, lovely stuff. So 6-ring system, soil home system, transitory Leviathan, so just a space station traveling through space by itself. Train system, the Sol system, the Twilight system. And the Sol system, you've obviously got Earth, which is heavily polluted, although life is getting better as the different alien species try and process our atmosphere and make it a better place. To try and survive the global heating, we crashed ice asteroids into our atmosphere, which flooded most of the continents. So most of the living places are floating cities or on mountain tops. We've absolutely wrecked Earth, but we've colonized Mars. I absolutely adore this, that people are rebelling against us being controlled by aliens, but the aliens are helping us rebuild the accidents we caused. Really nice ideas. Some star systems, home ships, transitory Leviathans, more systems, notable locations. And then on to the Games Master section, the Dreamweaver's Guide. So, conceiving of the game, preparing the game, running the game. The big conflict, talking you through what kind of conflict there should be, interpersonal, environmental, societal, internal. Antagonists and allies, talking you through those. Non-violent conflict resolutions. So problems they solve instead of just fighting enemies all the time. How often to use tests, diplomacy. How to build your combat encounters, basic tactics and reactions, using terrain, self-preservation. So when NPCs should decide to give up, if you've wounded an animal, it might run away instead of you fighting it to the death. We've got adventure generation ideas. What planets would be like, what population is, different conflicts you could have. Science teams, clandestine missions, ordinary, marine missions. We've got different crafting, awarding experience, artifacts, so older technologies. Then we've got a bestiary. So different creatures. Starts off with the intelligent species. We've got different skill sets for them. So if you've got a diplomat of one of those races, they'll get these modifiers. If you've got a medic, a roughneck, etc. Then we've got tier 0 creatures. So herd herbivores, pack hunters, including some specific ones detailed out. Apex predators. orderly sim. What's this? A Fawn Sentry sim, Archangel units, so different types of robots, and Spinwood Hydras, Avia Young Hunter, which appears to be penguin-like. Loads and loads of creatures. Often they're from the homeworlds of the different races. Often they are just generic. So you've got generic herbivores, generic pack hunters that you can use if you're just coming. And then we've got an adventure, One Pump Town adventure. Now, this is basically the players are going to a colony which is starting to fail, and they've got various options. So there's a pirate base nearby. Perhaps they'll go and talk to pirates and come up to a deal between this failing colony and the pirates. Or perhaps they'll raid the pirates to steal the necessary parts. Or perhaps you'll get the pirates to try and take in the colonists and work together. Loads and loads of solutions, lots and lots of information, dramatis personae through it. As disaster strikes, about the facility, truth and consequences, and some very nice maps. The original facility floor plan, a very large version of it, a blank character sheet, and that's us to the back cover. Now, I've gone through what I like about the game as we've flipped through it. The one thing that I find difficult about this game is it doesn't seem to be directed to what you're supposed to be doing. It gives you lots of options. One of the sections I read through, it tells you, you could be free traders, you could be Marines. Well, absolutely, that's fine. If you give somebody a copy of the Star Wars role-playing game, the book, they can be free traders, they can be Marines, they can be stormtroopers. But that game is built with the clear concept in Star Wars that you're going to be rebel agents fighting the Empire. There's an entire universe there, but it gives you something directed. And you'll find that with most science fiction games, and that's where they triumph. Star Trek. You pick up Star Trek, you can play a Klingon crew, you can play a Federation crew, you can play free traders if you want, working between them, especially in the old Phasor game where you could work in the triangle between the Romulans, Klingons, and Federation. But the basic part of the game is you're a Federation crew doing the stuff in the TV series. Even games which do not have a world based on something else, Shadowrun. Shadowrun gives you the world. If you want to play a bunch of corporate agents going into the Amazon rainforest and fighting off magically awakened creatures, you can do that. If you want to play government agents hunting down escaped convicts, if you want to play cops policing it, you can do it, giving you a world. But Shadowrun directs you towards, you're playing Shadowrunners, people who are hired by corporations to do attacks on other corporations. You are mercenaries of a type. It focuses you in on that and gives the game some direction. I don't feel that Change Stars has that. It's a wonderful world. I really like the background for it. But even with the supplied adventure, I read through that and I was like, so why are the players doing this? I know what they're doing. They're trying to save this colony. But why? Who's sending them? Why are they bothered about this? If we can be Marines or we can be free traders, why are we saving a colony? It just doesn't seem to be very directed. Now, it's a 300-page book. I've only read over it the last couple of days. So perhaps I've skipped over a section which is very key to that. There do seem to be bits which give you advice on building your campaign. But again, these do seem to give you a variety of options instead of providing something targeted within this massive universe they've given you to play in.
So that was Change Stars, a fantastic looking book with really interesting setting, with some great data in it. I love the deck plans, I love the layouts of the star systems, I love everything in it except this slight lack of focus. Now, since I recorded that section of the video, before I recorded this, I was going back through the email they sent me, and I noticed they sent me a link to The Load, a free adventure module for Change Stars found on DriveThruRPG and Itch.io. So I downloaded that to have a look through it, wondering if that made a better introductory adventure than the one in the book, because it would give you some focus and provide a launching off point for your party. And again, it doesn't have that focus. It gives you lots of options, whether your characters are working within the law or whether they're working the black market, how they're introduced to the adventure through different contacts and different friends, allowing you to introduce groups from, if they're playing Marines or free traders or whatever, into the adventure, which is very, very useful for Changed Stars, but doesn't help us with this focus problem. What are you supposed to be playing? I think it'd be really lovely to play free traders in this universe. They have given you so many options that kind of makes the best sense to me. That you are the crew of a starship trying to make your way in space. We excuse why you're making money and why so many different races are working together. If your players have chosen different species, why it's not just human marines or whatever. That seems to make most sense, and I wish they'd directed us towards that and given us a lot more support for launching a campaign into that. But that's not a negative. They have given you a universe to play in and supported that so well. But anyway, as usual, I think I've been wittering on for quite long enough. So thank you very much for watching. As always, most of all, you look after yourselves, and I'll catch you later. Bye now.